He died watching the woman he loved betray him. But death wasn't the end, it was his reset button. Now, reborn 1 month before the apocalypse, he's ready to rewrite fate itself, and this time, the world will burn on his terms. This is the story of Su Chen, a man who witnessed the fall of humanity once, and now has the power to change everything before it happens. But even with a second chance, the end of the world waits for no one. The chaos begins with a disaster no one saw coming. A volcano erupts right in the center of a bustling city, flames swallowing everything in their path. Sirens wail, the ground shakes, and a bus packed with terrified passengers races through the crumbling streets toward the last evacuation point. Just a few days ago, the underwater eruption of Mount Fuji caused a cataclysmic earthquake that killed tens of thousands. Now, the destruction is spreading, smaller cities are collapsing, and people are fleeing for their lives. Inside the speeding bus, a woman realizes she forgot her evacuation supplies. She tries to laugh it off, saying she'll just buy new ones in Jiangnan City. But the man sitting next to her shakes his head grimly. "You haven't seen the news, have you? Every warehouse, Walmart, AliExpress, Darong, they've all been emptied." And he's right. The economic damage alone is in the trillions. But supplies are the least of their problems. Another passenger, a quiet man with sharp eyes, finally speaks up. He tells them the truth no one wants to hear. This isn't just a disaster. It's the beginning of the end. The others laugh him off. One even jokes, if it's the end of the world, maybe that's a good thing. Everyone will finally be equal, right? But the man's eyes darken. "Equal," he mutters. "Even at the end of the world, there is no such thing." Because he knows. He's seen the apocalypse before. In another life, Su Chen watched humanity crumble, cities turn to ash, monsters rising from beneath the earth, and everything humanity built, wiped away in days. Back then, he was just a delivery man, ordinary, powerless, and terrified. But when solar storms unleashed abnormal energy across the planet, everything changed. Temperatures spiked, earthquakes shattered continents, and monsters buried deep underground clawed their way to the surface. The old world died, replaced by chaos, where people killed for a packet of noodles, a sausage, or even a block of ice. But this time, Su Chen isn't the same helpless man. He's been reborn, 1 month before it all begins. Armed with memories of the end, he's preparing for survival, for power, and for revenge. As he sits quietly on that bus, thinking about what's to come, the same woman from before approaches him. There's fear in her eyes. She wants someone to rely on, someone who seems to know what's happening. But Su Chen, he's not interested in saving anyone this time, because in the new world that's coming, mercy is a luxury no one can afford. Su Chen brushes off the frightened woman's plea and steps off the bus without looking back. He's got no time for sentimentality, not when the end of the world is knocking on humanity's door. In this new life, he knows the truth, only those with resources survive. His destination is a familiar one, the massive warehouse where he once worked as a humble delivery man. Walking through the doors feels like stepping into the past, except now he's the one holding the pen of fate. A co-worker by the entrance sneers. 21 seconds late, huh? Half a day's wages gone. Su Chen just smirks. If only that guy knew, money's about to become worthless. He heads straight into the storage area. Rows upon rows of shelves stacked with rice, oil, meat, and enough food to feed a small army. Su Chen raises his hand, and activates his hidden trump card, space. Instantly, a shimmering distortion ripples through the air. Reality bends as an enormous cubic void opens up before him, tens of thousands of meters wide, stretching into infinity. Every box, every can, every piece of shelving vanishes into the void like dust in a storm. Within seconds, the entire warehouse is stripped bare. All of it, safely stored in his spatial dimension, where time itself stands still. Food won't rot, supplies won't spoil, and he won't ever go hungry again. In his past life, a single pack of instant noodles was a treasure people killed for. Now, he's got tons of it, frozen in perfect condition. For the first time since his rebirth, he exhales in relief, a quiet smile crossing his face. This time, he won't starve, he won't beg, he'll rule. But just as that thought settles in, footsteps echo through the empty hall. 3 workers stroll in, ready to start their shift, only to freeze in place. Their jaws drop, the shelves are gone, the crates are gone, the entire warehouse is an empty shell. And standing alone in the center of it all, is Su Chen. Their eyes narrow. "Hey, what the hell happened here?" one of them demands, stepping closer. The tension thickens. Su Chen's calm gaze meets theirs, the faintest hint of a smirk tugging at his lips. Because they have no idea. They're about to witness what a reborn survivor is truly capable of. The three workers stare at Su Chen, their confusion turning to anger. "What happened to all the supplies that were in the storage area?" one shouts. Su Chen doesn't even hesitate. "I took them," he says flatly. The men freeze, shocked by how casually he admits it. Then, without warning, they lunge toward him, ready to grab him and call security. But Su Chen, he's already gone. In a blur of light, he vanishes, the air warping around him as he slips out of the warehouse like a ghost. A smirk crosses his lips. "Well, guess I won't be late anymore," he mutters, glancing back once. "I quit." Before one of them can even touch him, space ripples, and Su Chen disappears completely. The men are left spinning in confusion, shouting his name into the empty hall. But no matter how hard they look, he's gone. Outside, a portal opens just a few feet above the ground. Su Chen flips through it effortlessly, landing in a narrow alley between two buildings. The distortion closes behind him with a faint hum. This is his second ability, Space Jump. It lets him teleport within a radius of 3 meters, a small range, but infinitely useful. In his last life, this ability saved him countless times. Now, it's more than just a trick, it's survival. He dusts himself off, tosses his warehouse jacket into the air, and walks away without looking back. Behind him, the empty warehouse stands as his first victory, a silent monument to his new. But before he can even take a breath of relief, his phone buzzes violently in his pocket. He glances down. An emergency broadcast message flashes across the screen, red text, urgent tone. Emergency alert. Earth's crust is showing signs of extreme instability. Localized natural disasters may occur. Citizens are advised to stay calm and avoid panic. Su Chen narrows his eyes. Localized disasters? Huh? The message claims it won't affect daily life, a desperate lie meant to keep people calm. But Su Chen knows better. He's seen what comes next. And these tremors, these warnings, are only the beginning. He stares at the flickering screen, the faint rumble of the earth echoing in the distance. Do they really think this is something they can contain? He mutters under his breath. They have no idea, the world is already ending. Su Chen's moment of quiet is shattered by the shrill ringing of his phone. He glances at the screen, and his face immediately darkens. The name flashing on the display makes his blood boil. Jiang Shaoku, his so-called fiancée. Just the sight of her name makes his hand tremble in disgust. He exhales slowly, forcing himself to stay calm, and answers the call. The moment the line connects, her voice explodes through the speaker, shrill, angry, venomous. "Su Chen, where the hell have you been? You disappear for days, put your house up for sale, and don't even call me? Do you think you'll ever find another woman if you sell that place?" He closes his eyes, her words stabbing at memories he's tried to bury. On the other end, she's painting her lips a glossy red, the same lips that just kissed another man lying lazily on the bed behind her. Xiaoyu, the same bastard who would one day beat Su Chen half to death, and take everything from him. Jiang Shaoku keeps ranting, her voice dripping with entitlement. "I'm your fiancé, Su Chen. You may not care about the house, but I'm still a woman. If you really loved me, you'd give me the house, it would make me feel secure." Her words are poison, but Su Chen doesn't even flinch. When she finally pauses to take a breath, he asks quietly, "You done?" That calm, emotionless tone cuts deeper than any insult. It throws her off for a moment, then she snaps back. "Fine, I'll give you one last chance. When I get back to Xanadu, you'll transfer the house to me. If you don't, then consider our engagement over." He doesn't respond, doesn't argue, he simply ends the call. Just like that, the silence that follows is deafening. But inside Su Chen's chest, it isn't silence. It's rage. Cold, steady, suffocating rage. Because in his last life, he did everything for her. When the apocalypse hit, he searched every ruined city for supplies. He risked his life to feed her, to shelter her, to keep her alive. She clung to him, cried on his shoulder, promised to stay by his side. And for 5 long years, he believed her. But behind his back, she betrayed him, again and again, with that same violent scum, Xiaoyu. The man would beat Su Chen senseless whenever he came home empty-handed, while Shaoku looked on, saying nothing. Until one day, she did more than watch. In the safe house Su Chen built with his own hands, the one place he thought was secure, she watched as Xiaoyu killed him, right there. And then, right in front of his corpse, the two of them laughed, sneered, and called him useless. She didn't even shed a tear. Su-chan whispers, his voice trembling with quiet fury. Not one. His grip tightens around the phone, the plastic casing creaking under the pressure. This time, he vows, things will be different. This time, they'll pay. He watched them laugh as the life drained from him, watched them use his corpse like a toy. That memory sticks to him like a brand. He was wronged, betrayed, and buried alive by the people he trusted most. Now, Su-chan tastes a different kind of resolve. He doesn't want a quick death for them. He wants them to understand pain the way he did, again and again, 100-fold. Not out of cruelty for cruelty's sake, but because vengeance is a language he finally learned to speak. His fingers tremble as the image of Shao Ku and Xia Yu flashes behind his eyes. He breathes deep, forcing the storm inside him to settle. Anger is a blade, useful, but sharp. If he swings it recklessly, he'll bleed, too. First things first. Survival. Supplies. Money. He calls Manager Lu, his real estate agent, and lays out a cold, simple plan. Sell the house, now, at half market value. Cash only. No transfers. No delays. No witnesses. Why? Because in a collapsing world, liquidity is power. Cash buys mobility, bribes, fuel, medicine, everything you can't stack on a shelf. And Su-chan intends to have all of it. Deal arranged, he heads to Dream Real Estate to finish the sale. He arrives early, the city hum of distant sirens and rumbling ground underlining every step. He expects paperwork, a quick exchange, a clean exit. Instead, he finds them waiting. There, in the stale office light, and in Xia Yu's hand, a baseball bat. Not for sport. Su-chan pauses. The world narrows. The past and present converge in a single breath. Does he walk in and let them corner him? Does he run, and risk losing the cash that will buy his safety? He forces a smile that tastes like ice. This is the moment the cold, patient plan meets raw, familiar hatred. But which will win? The man who learned from death, or the man who once laughed at it? The bat glints under the fluorescent light. The agent's desk sits between them like a flimsy border. Outside, the city creaks, the warning tremors like a countdown. Inside, Su-chan's heartbeat is steady, his hands are calm. He's stepped into the arena. The next move will decide everything.